back to America's most powerful talk lineup, WHIO.
Can I turn on your radio?
Yes, already.
It's almost showtime.
Who's your favorite talk radio personality?
That's Todd. He's weird.
Monday through Friday.
He's strange. 5 to 7. Sloppy.
I mean, he sounds perfect.
He's dreamy.
What do you say? Let's get it going.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call me now, 937-457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
This is Rockin' Radio, the wall of sound.
The radio, all we hear is Radio Gaga, Radio Cuckoo, Radio Gaga. Oh, radio. Listen to the radio. What if I really know? Radio, radio, yeah. You gotta hear me on the radio. Radio, wall of sound, coming up from my tower. Radio, wall of sound, 24 hours of power.
It is the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 on National Radio Day. Woohoo! It's like an early birthday for me. National Radio Day. And I just want to say here at the beginning of the show, get this out of the way. I am so grateful for all the Edgeheads out there that listen to the show, who watch the show on the live stream, who call the show, who send me messages, who come out to our live shows, who tell their friends and family and coworkers about the show. I'm indebted to all of you. And I'm grateful that just by chance, in the crazy world of radio, that I get to do the show that I wanted to always do on the station that I grew up listening to in the hometown that I love. So thank you to everybody who listens, everybody who supports the show here at WHIO and Cox Media Group, and all the folks that have somehow been persuaded to put their trust in me and give me this powerful microphone that people listen to every night. So I'm very grateful for that. Thank you for National Radio Day and all of that great stuff. Tonight on the show, we've got, oh my gosh, we have all kinds of stuff to talk about. We have a pair of tickets to see Crowded House at the Rose Music Center. That's happening September 10th. We also have, this is interesting, blatant lies parents tell their kids. I heard this a day or two ago on Miami Valley's Morning News with Larry Hanskin, and I haven't had a chance to get to it. And I love this list because there are lies that we tell our kids from time to time, usually to keep them safe, right? Or sometimes it's just easier to lie to them than explain the truth about certain things. And also this crazy story of an Ohio man at an amusement park who left his kids alone at the park while he went and rode roller coasters. So that's just, that's crazy. So we're going to talk about that. We got so much more. The first thing I wanted to get to, and I posted this on my Facebook a little earlier. So last Tuesday, I opened the show talking about this supposed documentary about vampires in Dayton. I'm sure by now you've heard the story, but if you haven't, there was a documentary that was to air on Netflix called Vampires in Gem City. And the story sort of revolves around a club that used to be in downtown Dayton called the Asylum. I've talked about the Asylum many times on the show. I've been there before. I mean, it's closed now. It's now I think maybe a runaway center, Daybreak or something like that. But I remember going there a lot. I know the people who owned it. I know the people who worked there. And it was just a fun, crazy time and a cool club to go to if you were into sort of like alternative music, goth music, which I was at the time. I worked at an alternative rock station, for crying out loud. But there was an incident that happened back in the 90s where, unfortunately, a man lost his life, and he's missing. He's still missing to this day. And from that incident and certain stories that were put out there into the ether, there was this rumor going around that this man, unfortunately, was part of a ritualistic killing that took place inside the asylum. I have talked to a number of people over the last week. I've talked to the owner of the asylum. I've talked to a retired police detective who was part of the investigation, who is quoted and referred to in many of the press stories about this. And today I see a story on Cincinnati.com. That's the Cincinnati Enquirer. And we have an update that the story is that the documentary, apparently, which was supposed to come out at some point, and there was speculation that it might be this fall, on Netflix, according to this story, the wife of the gentleman who disappeared, Philip Gall, reported, I guess, to the Cincinnati Enquirer that the producers told them through emails that Netflix has decided not to air the show without any explanation as to why. Now, we talked about this last week, and my feeling was, you make accusations like that in a documentary that there was some sort of ritualistic satanic killing at a club with no proof at all other than innuendo and hearsay, you really open yourself up to lawsuits. And guess what? Netflix, they got deep pockets. So I'm sure that they looked at this and looked at what was covered in that particular documentary, the content, if you will, and probably thought, yeah, this may not be the best idea. Because I'll tell you, and I said this last week, I know the people that worked there, that own that club. Nothing like that was going on. Nothing like that was going on. And what's most disturbing to me is that, you know, this gentleman, Philip Gall, is missing. They don't know what happened. They don't know where he disappeared. They know that he took a bus downtown and he never made it to where he was going. And I've heard some things off the record where they might have some idea of what could have occurred, but there's nothing solid. And the thing is that the wife of this gentleman and this family and the people that knew him, they deserve to know the truth. What they don't deserve are rumors and innuendos and salacious claims that really hold no water. And I just feel for these folks who are going through this because, you know, this isn't the first time this story surfaced. This story surfaced years and years ago in an article that I think was in the Dayton Daily News. And there, you know, were accusations made or suggestions, if you will. And I think that certain folks, you know, sort of jumped on that bandwagon. And they started building it up for whatever reason they had. But, you know, the information that I've heard from, like I said, folks who are in the know, that there's just no basis for this. And I'm glad that Netflix has decided not to air this, Because not only is this painful for the family of Philip Gall, but as I said last Tuesday, it really bothers me that this accusation is going to be made that Dayton, and this is really what got me going last week on this, is that they allege that Dayton, Ohio, has the second largest coven of vampires outside of New Orleans. Did you hear that correctly? That they think they're vampires living here in Dayton. Now, I will say this, and again, you know, talking to folks who were part of this story, there were people back in the 90s that were essentially cosplaying. They dressed as vampires. They behaved like vampires. They had crazy vampire names. It was just people who were maybe a little too obsessed. But you remember at the time, vampires were very popular in the media. There were movies about vampires. There were TV shows on HBO about vampires. You know, so it was very popular then. And the things that people might say or do when they are cosplaying, you really have to take with a grain of salt. You really do. But I think some folks who just got wrapped up into this idea that there was something satanic going on in Dayton really didn't do anybody any good. And it certainly didn't help the family, who's still grappling with the fact that all these years later, that they don't know what happened to their loved one. And that's what I find most disturbing. And the fact that Dayton, there's so many great things about Dayton that somehow, you know, we're going to be dragged through the mud because of some club kids back in the 90s dressing as vampires with fake fangs. It's just really ridiculous. And the family deserves more than that. The city deserves more than that. And yeah, so I'm glad that it's not going to air on Netflix. Now, that doesn't mean, and I don't know what their deal was, the producers, their deal with Netflix, doesn't mean that it won't show up one day. It could show up somewhere else. According to this article in the Inquirer, the producer said that they've received inquiries from all over the world, including the UK. So there could be somebody out there who really doesn't care about journalistic integrity, who will say, oh, yeah, let's just put that out there and see what happens. We can use the clicks. We can use the likes. We can use the publicity. Or it could just show up on YouTube. Who knows? But I'm glad that Netflix has opted out to this, because I'm not kidding. There was a part of me that thought, if they air this crap, I'm done.
What am I listening to now?
What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up, pump.
T-O.
Double D.
H.
Oh, double L.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
Really, what I should have said there was Netflix. We'd be done with Netflix. I mean, I'm not big on boycotts, and I would never suggest a boycott. But I told my wife, I said, if they air this crap, we're done with Netflix. Plus, it's getting too expensive anyway. And a lot of the stuff on that platform is just sort of gone. The quality has gone down the toilet. Well, I also like wearing black. At an early age, I learned and found that wearing black was slimming. But I'm not a big fan of blood. So, yeah, not really not really a vampire kind of guy. But I'll tell you what I really hate, zombies. Haven't heard from that crazy Dr. Boogie in a while. I thought maybe I'd hear from him today because it was National Radio Day. He's such a big radio guy. But I hadn't heard from him. I mean, I'm not complaining, but You're welcome, Susan. Enjoy the show tonight. I thought about going, but I got too much stuff going on.
Some familiar faces take the stage at the DNC. More at 5:30. Now back to the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst on 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
And Tom, Tom, what were you again?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Well, I have some sad news. The world's oldest known living person has passed away. And that's one of those titles you hold only for a short time. She's a Spanish woman who was actually born in the United States on March 4th, 1904 in California. Her name is Maria Brañas, and her family said that she passed away last week peacefully in her sleep at the age of 117 years and 168 days. It says that, and her family who runs, I love this. I mean, her family who runs her social media account. I guess if you are the world's oldest person, you probably do want to have some sort of media presence, right? Social media presence. The super centenarian lived through the 1918 flu pandemic and, of course, COVID-19. The gerontology research group, which validates details of people thought to be older than 110, listed her as the oldest known person in the world. She was the 8th oldest person with a verifiable age in history. So that's something else. 117 years and 168 days. That's like 3 or 4 lifetimes.
What am I listening to now?
What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up.
T-O.
Double D.
Oh, double L.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
on WHIO.
All right.
Breaks. We break in anytime. Now back to America's most powerful talk lineup, WHIO.
And now, with your permission, I'm going to do my stuff.
Could this day get any more fantastic?
Let's get on with it.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call me at 457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Live stream up on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Just a reminder, you can go to my Facebook page and enter to win one of those cool Evening Edge Jackpot coffee mugs made by Edgehead David and donated to the show. Because there's no budget for stuff to give away on my show. So I feel like a pauper. I feel like I'm, calling for handouts. That's what I feel like. No, I appreciate coffee mugs, and you can register for those. Also, this is kind of cool. Remember I think it was last Monday. Last Monday, it was National Underwear Day. And right before the show, I had an idea for something, and I called my buddy Ron over there at Titan Graphics. They're the ones who did the Eclipse T-shirts, which were so cool and very popular. I said, hey, Ron, it's National Underwear Day. Can you hook me up with some Evening Edge underwear? And he said, yeah, we'll just get the underwear. I'm happy to throw in the printing, at no charge, because he's an Edgehead. And I thought, this is awesome. So guess what? We gave away several pair, and I got them today. Here they are on the live stream. You have to see this. I know it's radio and not TV. But if you are watching the live stream, you will see a beautiful pair of boxers with my mug on the front and also the show logo. What's really cool, though, is that we got extras. We gave away 4 pair, and I think we have 8. We have 8 to give away. Now, a couple of people here at the station thought, hey, those are kind of cool, but I really don't want your face on my underwear. And I said, look, I understand it. I get it. I'm the same way. I don't want my own face on my underwear. But I need some ideas on how to give these away. Something fun, but something, I don't know, something useful. Somebody gave me an idea, and I'm mulling this over. I gave away 6 pair. No, I don't remember. That was last Monday. I don't remember. Somebody suggested, what if you did a deal where people could donate a pack of underwear to like the House of Bread. You can give them underwear to help somebody in need, and you get registered to win a pair of Evening Edge boxers. That's not a bad idea. Maybe something like that. I'm not sure. But anyway, look forward to that. I'll have more undies to give away. We have an Ohio man story.
He's Ohio man, causing chaos is his plan. Breaking all the laws, on the run from dusk to dawn.
So when I was growing up and would go to amusement parks with my parents and my younger sister, my dad was always the one who would ride the roller coaster with me. My mom was not a thrill seeker. And to this day, she's not a thrill seeker by any stretch, unless it's the day after Thanksgiving and Christmas shopping. Then she's all about thrill seeking. But when we'd go to Kings Island or Cedar Point, or even a couple times we were fortunate enough to go to Disney or Knott's Berry Farm, whenever I wanted to ride a roller coaster, my dad was the one that went with me. My sister, who was younger, probably too short to ride this ride, she hung out with mom. Or sometimes, my sister would go and mom would be left alone. It's fine because, my mom was, an adult. right? Well, this story has to do with a dad at Cedar Point. This was Friday. Now, the question, before I go into all this, the question is, at what age do you think it's appropriate to leave your kid alone? Unattended. And I don't mean like at home, right? Like maybe they get off the bus at 3:00. You give them a key, they come in, they hang out for an hour or two, and then you show up. That's not what I'm talking about. Just anywhere. I'm thinking I would not feel comfortable in today's world leaving probably any kid under the age of 13. I feel like if you're a teenager, you could probably handle yourself, or at the very least, know where to run or who to go to if you find yourself in some sort of weird predicament. But younger than that, I just really question leaving kids alone. So this dad was at Cedar Point, and he was there, I guess, without a mom or an ex, or I'm not sure what the dynamic is there. But this dad is facing child endangerment charges. Cops say he left his 8-year-old daughter alone, and also in charge of watching her 2- and 4-year-old siblings while he went to ride a roller coaster. So this, I think we have, yeah. Police say a park goer alerted Cedar Point security around 9:00 on Friday night. So 9:00. And that also, I think, is an important part here. I would never leave my kid alone at that age, period, regardless of what time of the day. But late at night, getting dark, I'm not so sure. But this park goer notified security that they saw a 2-year-old girl playing in the dirt by the Magnum roller coaster with no parents in sight. Police say park security took the young girl to an unattended wagon with a 4-year-old girl inside that was spotted near the corkscrew roller coaster. So it seems like the kids got separated. Well, what do you expect? You leave them with an 8-year-old. Cops say security waited about 20 minutes before Dad, a 36-year-old man from Seneca County, returned with his 9-year-old daughter after riding the corkscrew. So Dad was there with a 9-year-old daughter, an 8-year-old daughter, and a 2- and 4-year-old. Doesn't say whether those are girls or boys. But you've got to be kidding. Oh, the 2-year-old was a girl. So at least 3 girls, all under the age of 10, and he's there by himself at the amusement park, apparently. I remember going to Kings Island with my kid, and it was just me and him. That was a challenge, trying to keep track of him. One kid, I can't imagine 3 or 4. The father told officers that he left the children with another daughter, the 8-year-old, who was supposed to look after them while he rode the roller coaster with his 9-year-old. He says he was only in line for a couple of minutes and then returned to his children. However, police say it should be noted that the ride was shut down for at least 20 minutes while Dad was waiting in line. So realistically, half hour plus. The father admitted to officers, according to the police report, that he also left the 8-year-old girl in charge while he and his 9-year-old daughter rode the Gatekeeper roller coaster earlier in the day. But in that instance, he said he could see the other 3 kids sitting alone from the line he was in. So that just makes it better. He also told the police that he left his younger children unattended to ride as many as 3 times at the park. Wow. You know, this is one of those deals. It's like if you, and I get it being a single parent. I was a single parent for a very, very long time. You have to know your limits, and you have to know, safety. And I'm sorry, but a single dad or even a single mom with 4 kids under the age of 10, trying to wrangle that while going to an amusement park is not the easiest, especially if you think you're going to go ride some roller coasters. If you're going to take your 4 kids under the age of 10 to an amusement park, you know where you stick? The kids section. You know, down at Kings Island at the time when I was growing up, I don't know what it is now, but it's, it used to be Hanna-Barbera land. And there were about 15, 20 rides that were all for little kids. And I remember spending the vast majority of the time with my parents in that section. You know, mom and dad weren't off running off to go ride the log flume or the racers or whatever. We'll just leave the kids over by the ball pit. Nah, you don't do that. It's Tasty Tuesday here on the show.
Why don't you go inside and get yourself a tasty snack?
Want a bite? They're real tasty.
How you get so big that you food of this kind?
It was tasty, delicious, and tasty.
When you're hungry, everything looks tasty.
That was piecey little hors d'oeuvre.
I love talking about food because it's one of the few things that we can all sort of agree on, right? We might not agree on politics or religion or favorite sports teams or whatever, but by gosh, we all love a good meal. Or a good snack in this instance. I got one story. Lay's is giving fans a chance to experience the flavors of Greece, India, and Korea with the release of its new global flavors lineup. Potato chips, wavy tzatziki, Lay's masala, and honey butter. They're also giving one lucky fan a chance to take their potato chip love abroad to one of the 3 flavor origin countries. So that's kind of cool. All of those sound really good to me. I haven't had potato chips in a long time, but boy, oh boy. And I love tzatziki sauce. Oh, so good. Fans can enter by scanning the QR code on the back of the bags of the new flavors between now and September 28th. You can also enter by visiting laysflavordrop.com and check out their global flavors lineup. That sounds yummy, 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 yummy. 937-457-1290. John in Riverside. Hey, John. Hey, John.
Am I on?
You're on, John. Yeah. What's going on, man?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Can you hear me? Oh, I was thinking about the underwear. Do horoscope underwear. Horoscope underwear.
Horoscope underwear? So how does that work? Do I read somebody's horoscope and...
No, the underwear with characters on them, like Scorpio or Pisces or Leo on the underwear.
Well, my face is on there.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I think I appreciate it, John. I think John misunderstood the point of the evening edge. Boxer shorts. Why would I wouldn't put the astrological symbols on there. My mug's on there. My face is on there. Right on the right leg. You got my face and the show logo right there on the front of the undies.
What am I listening to now? What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up.
T-O.
Double D.
H. Oh.
Double L.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
That's what it was, Snoopy Land, or that's what it became. I think if I recall, at first it was Hanna-Barbera Land. Excuse me, Hanna-Barbera Land. And then I remember Smurfland. And then was it Snoopy after that? Oh yeah, I remember going to Americana and Fantasy Farm. Americana, wasn't that the old? I think Americana had been La Swordsville Lake. Is that right? I can't remember. Yeah. You want to see something? Let's see if I can find it real quick. You mentioned Leslie, you mentioned the flying eagle. Let's see. Scrolling through a bunch of pictures trying to find something here. Oh, where is it? I have pictures of me and my dad at Americana. And also my parents at Kings Island, but I thought there was. Is that it? No. I thought there was a picture of me on the Flying Eagle. Because I feel like I've seen that before. I got a bunch of pictures from Americana. Yeah, I'm not finding it easily. It might not have been the Flying Eagle, but I remember that. I remember the Flying Eagle. But here's a Like there's a picture of me at Americana riding a little rocket. Let's see what else is there. That's Kings Island. There's me and my dad at Fantasy Farm.
Familiar faces to be seen and heard at the DNC tonight. We'll update you at 6. Now back to the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst on 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
I'm just trying to make a living.
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
For over 200 years, there have been reports of giant, man-like creatures roaming the vast mountain regions of the Pacific Northwest and Canada. Hundreds of people have encountered these creatures the Indians call Sasquatch. In some remote wilderness where man has never been, these creatures are living in complete solitude.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Well, I've mentioned this just a few times, but we're now getting close to, well, it's less than 2 months away. This is the Spirit of the Forest Bigfoot Festival up in Greenville, Ohio, and yours truly, the Evening Edge, is one of the sponsors of this awesome event. This is the first year, and it's happening on Friday, October 11th. Noon to 9, and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And they're going to have food trucks, a car show, Jeep and truck cruise-in, a lot of Bigfoot-themed contests, a bonfire with Bigfoot. What? They're going to have expert guest speakers, hands-on classes, a Bigfoot pumpkin carving contest, a relay race, and all kinds of specialty vendors. And I went to a Bigfoot festival last year. It was about this time of the year, and it was a lot of fun. But this one is much closer to the home. The one I went to was in Hawking Hills. This one is in Greenville, and I'm excited about it because I'm one of the sponsors. So if you'd like to get details on this, make your plans now. I don't know what day or days I'm going to be up there, but plan on attending. This is a cool thing. It's close to home. It's just right up the highway there in Greenville. And you can get details on my Facebook page. Just look for the pinned post there at the top, and you'll click on it. Just look for the picture of me getting harassed by Sasquatch.
What am I listening to now? What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up.
T-O.
Double D.
H.
Oh.
Double L.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
on WHIO.
Furry scurvy. That sounds like a it sounds like a sort of a if you get the scurvy, that seems like one level worse. I didn't get the scurvy. I got the furry scurvy.
Policy value.
Here's another picture of me at Fantasy Farm. I don't know if you can see that. I do remember they had these trains that you can ride. Hello, Austin. That Austin, he's so touchy. Well, it was actually it was like a little wagon with a big plastic horse. So there was a horse in the picture, but yes, I was on the back holding the reins. Camera needs to be closer to me, I think.
And immediately when it breaks, I'm Jason Michaels, 1290 and 95.7 WHIO, Dayton's News and Talk. Depend on it.
If news breaks, we break in anytime. Now back to America's most powerful talk lineup, WHIO.
I believe it's about that time.
Turn it right to one way. This is my friend, Todd.
He makes me laugh.
From Dayton, Ohio.
Oh, super!
What a crackpot.
Would you please just listen?
Really fun. And it's free.
Oh boy, this is great.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call me now, 937-457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
This is Rockin' Radio, the wall of sound.
All we hear is Radio Gaga.
Radio Gaga.
Wonderful radio. Radio, radio, yeah. You gotta hear me.
It is the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7, National Radio Day. I said a few words at the beginning of last hour about National Radio Day and how grateful I am to be hosting a show here on WHIO and in the town that I grew up in. So a big shout out to all you Edgeheads who follow the show, who listen to the show, watch the show, who contribute to the show, call the show, email the show, come out and see the live show. It's all about the show. See? Yeah. But thank you. And I hope you're enjoying National Radio Day. We have a current events quiz. We have tickets to give away to see Crowded House at the Rose Music Center September 10th. So if you'd like to take the current events quiz, give Ian, my producer tonight, a call, 937-457-1290. And you will, if you're the fifth caller, you can take the current events quiz. So last week, my wife had her best friend in town visiting, and the two of them went on a hike. I think she said they went somewhere in Sugar Creek. And he sent me pictures of my wife or video of my wife traipsing through the woods. And I said, boy, I hope she hates it. I hope she hates it and has a horrible time. Why? Because I don't want to get suckered into hiking. However, to my chagrin, my wife had a wonderful time hiking. And I've talked about my wife many times. And one aspect of my wife that I've spoken about is that she had gastric surgery in October of last year. And she's since then lost 179 pounds. It's remarkable. So a big shout out to my beautiful, wonderful wife. But with all this extra energy, she's all about getting out now. And I told her, I said, well, maybe I could be convinced if we could go someplace where there aren't a lot of hills. Because, you know, if you've seen me on the live stream or if you've seen me in person, I'm a big guy. And the idea of traipsing through the woods is not something that I really care for, but I also know that it's very healthy and it's very important. And it would be a nice way for my wife and I to exercise together and, you know, just be together and something we could do as a couple. So I thought I'd throw it out there. Where do you like to go if you are a hiker? If you're a hiker, or even if you're not like a hiker, maybe you just like to go to a park somewhere and walk. Where in the Miami Valley would you recommend? She told me where she went in Sugar Creek, and I just can't remember what the name of the place was, which park. But she said it was very, very hilly. And I thought, well, you know, if I'm starting out, I don't want to be doing that because, one, I don't want to be out in the middle of nowhere and hurt myself, you know, or get too winded. You know what I'm talking about. I don't want to do that. So I need some place that would sort of be a good beginner's hike, if you will, for somebody like me. She seemed to do okay with it. The video that I saw had her sort of skipping down a stone, I don't know, stairway. I wouldn't even call it that, just rocks. But I'd be curious to know if there's some place that you really, really like to go that's easy access. And remember, I live sort of in the Beaver Creek Riverside area. Somebody mentioned Ludlow Falls. I'm sure it's beautiful. I'm not driving all the way to Ludlow Falls. I'm also not, Captain Scurvy, I am not going hiking in Drexel. That's just not going to happen. Not going to happen. There's, Susan says there's Dayton Hikers. There's a Dayton Hikers Facebook group. Huh. We'll have to check that out. I did see, speaking of hiking, that Hocking Hills State Park, the Whispering Cave hike, I guess it's a 5-mile hike, and I would assume that's pretty hilly. I mentioned Hocking Hills last hour when I was talking about that Bigfoot festival I went to last year. It is the #1 hiking spot in the U.S., according to USA Today. The Reader's Choice Awards for Best Hiking Trail. Right there in Hocking Hills. That's pretty cool. But I think that might be a little too advanced. Little too advanced for me at this point. So if you got any suggestions, 937-457-1290. We got DJ in Inglewood. Hey, DJ.
Hi, Todd. How are you again?
I'm doing very well. Boy, you're awfully chipper.
Well, life is good.
Well, I'm glad. I guess you want to take the current events quiz, don't you?
I would love to. Thank you so much for asking.
Okay.
Oh my God! Listen, everybody.
All right.
It's the
Hang tight,
Evening Edge
DJ.
Current Events Quiz.
Quiz, hot shot.
Can you answer the question?
I bet you think you're pretty smart, huh?
Now, here's your host, Todd Hollst.
Thank you very much, Norm Kelly, official announcer of the current events quiz. Now, DJ, as I said, you are playing for a pair of tickets to see the band Crowded House. They're going to be.
I'm so excited.
Remember Crowded House from the 80s?
Are you kidding me? I'm the same age as you are.
Oh, well, then you probably had them on your wall like I did.
Yes, that's correct. I did.
They're going to be at the Rose Music Center on September 10th. Now, do you know how to play the current events quiz?
Yes, sir. I think I do.
I give you 3 questions and 3 possible answers. And DJ, tell everybody and me, the answer is always
C.
C. There you go. All right. Now, these 3 questions are all weird news. Weird news. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Here's well, that's what my show really is, just weird news.
It's true.
You could talk about all the normal news in the day, but who cares?
Right.
It's just it's a drag. It's just a drag. Yeah.
I agree.
All right, here's question number 1. A mini golf course in Pennsylvania recently had to call for assistance after they discovered what stuck inside their arcade claw machine. Was it A, a kid named Chad, B, a kilo of Coke, or C, a killer groundhog?
My husband told me about this story. I'm going to go with C.
Oh, there. Yeah, that's it's pretty interesting. Though I have seen video and pictures. I don't know if you've ever seen this, where kids somehow crawl.
I have seen that.
Yeah, they get into the machine, and then they have to call the medics to come get them out.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Now, and another idea. Well, I was going to suggest a claw machine with drugs, but that's probably not a good idea. So,
yeah, that claw machine would probably always be empty.
Yes, yeah, that's right. All right, here's question number 2. A Texas woman was recently awarded a Guinness World Records title for being a female. For being the female. Hang on. For being a female with the world's widest. Oh, okay. Let me start again. I'm sorry.
Okay.
A Texas woman was recently awarded a Guinness World Records title for being a female with the world's widest A, hips, B, lips, or C, tongue.
I'm going to say C, tongue.
You got it. She has a 3.11-inch wide tongue.
Wow, that's crazy. I work in dentistry. That poses quite a few problems, but we won't go into that.
Well, the guy who owns the male record is an American, and his tongue is 3.49 inches wide.
Wow, he could do some real damage on an ice cream cone.
He could. And he has a lot of dates. All right, here's question number 3. City officials in Ontario, Canada are pleading with people who live there to stop doing what on the beaches of Lake Ontario? A, stealing sand for their DIY projects. B, building pornographic sand sculptures. Or C, pooping on the beach.
Wow, I am disgusted to say C.
Yeah. It's surprising that people need to be told that, but
it is shocking.
It is shocking, the behavior of some Canadians.
Some people.
All right, congratulations, DJ. You are tonight's winner, so hang on the line, and Ian's going to get your info. We'll get those tickets out to you, okay?
Thank you so much, Todd. Have a great evening. You're awesome.
Oh, well, thank you, DJ. I appreciate that. Give her a little casino bell love there.
What am I listening to now? What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up.
T-O.
Double D.
H.
Oh.
Double L.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
Tina, I'm glad you heard that. Traipsing and gallivanting. Yep, I love that. Those are a couple of really great words. Captain Scurvy, I'm pretty sure you don't measure up. Mark, you have a local option where you can hike naked. You need to call the show, please. Mark from Dark, please. Please. You know what? I caught the poison ivy in my nether regions while traipsing and gallivanting through the forest. Oh, I got you. Captain Scurvy was out there naked trying to climb the trees. That's how he got poison ivy. Don't let him kid yourself or kid you.
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst on 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
At best, you're an underachiever at a local radio station.
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. So I asked the question, if you are a hiker, where do you like to go hiking? My wife went hiking, I would have to say, probably the first time in decades, with a good friend of hers last week. He was visiting, and she had a great time. I was hoping she'd have an awful time and be like, I never want to do that again. But she loved it. And she's like, I would love to go hiking with you. And I'm just not like an outdoorsy guy. But I love my wife, and I know that it would be very healthy for me, and I need to do some healthy stuff. So I'm looking for suggestions. Bob in Kettering, what's up, Bob?
Hey, Todd.
Hey.
First of all, I got to say it. Jackpot as always.
Thank you. So what's happening?
Oh, not a whole lot. I'm just on my way to go see the tribute, have a tribute band.
Oh, and, that'll be fun. Yeah, that'll be cool.
And it was great seeing you over at the overdose awareness downtown.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming out there for that. That was a good time.
One place that I had thought of that's real easy for especially for a beginner, and they've got multiple different paths, is Cox Arboretum over on 741, just down from the mall.
I know where that is. I you know what? It's funny. The last time I was there, I was working at Channel 7, and we shot Best of the Class, that thing that they do every year for the valedictorians. I remember shooting it out there during August of one year, and boy, oh boy, it was really hot. But that is a beautiful place. And don't they have the butterfly? Don't they have a butterfly house?
I believe so, and you definitely want to bring your binoculars. Feel a little exploratory. You can go up in the eagle's nest, way up in that tower, and look way out.
Wow. Well, that's not bad, because that's just down from a Dunkin'.
Yeah,
it is. I can go hiking with my wife and then go have a donut as a reward for my hiking.
Why don't you do the donut first and then do the hiking, and that way you work off the donut?
Bob, why don't I do it before and after?
Oh,
yeah. Start with the munchkins, and then afterwards, reward yourself with a nice apple fritter. Yeah,
you got it working.
All right, Bob, I appreciate it. That's a great suggestion. Cox Arboretum, I like that idea. I remember going there one time with my son, and we went into the butterfly house, and I've never seen anyone more afraid of butterflies in my life.
What am I listening to now? What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up.
T. Oh.
Double D.
H.
Oh.
Double L.
S. T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
What's for dinner tonight? I don't know. Mary suggested she was interested in Bob Evans. What, Marcia? They dismantled the butterfly house? I guess too many kids getting scared. The terror. Butterfly terror. You know what? I slept in too, Leslie. I I got my. I think I mentioned this last night. I got my first singles. I got my vaccination against singles. I got my shingles vaccination yesterday. It's 2 parts. I got the first one, and then the next one I'll get in 6 months. But one of the side effects is that it can make you tired. Holy cow. It knocked me out. I slept in until 11 this morning. Crazy. Josh, I'll have to check it out. That is true. That is correct, Heather. That's one of the side effects. Tired, upset stomach, and it screws up your ability to math and science.
Oh.
Don't hesitate to call.
You call me? You better call me.
Damn it, get me a phone.
Call me on my radio.
I'm gonna call you.
You got him on the radio?
You won't make a simple phone call?
What is wrong with you?
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call me at 457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Live stream is up on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We're talking about cool places to go hiking in the Dayton area. My wife went hiking for the first time in decades last week with a friend of hers who was visiting from out of town. And unfortunately, she had a great time because now she wants me to go hiking with her. And I'm open to it. I want to spend time with my wife. Though I will say, if I go hiking and end up missing in the woods, she's the person I'm going to blame. Ian, my producer tonight, says that he is an avid hiker. So when you say avid hiker, what are we talking? You go hiking every week, couple times a week?
Okay, well, yeah, when I have time, every few weeks or so is when I get out. I try to get out as much as possible.
Yeah.
I love it, especially this time of year, and specifically when it's this temperature. My body runs hot. This is the best temperature to get out, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is, this is for anybody that's also trying to get into hiking as well as you are.
Sure.
There is an app called All Trails, and it's like social media but for hikers. You can, what it is, it's a map. It takes your location, and if you can zoom out as far as you want, it'll cover the entire United States, the entire world. It'll show you every possible trail that has been marked in the world. You can filter based on how far it is, or like how long in miles it is.
The distance, yeah.
Yeah, how terrain heavy it is, if it's rocky, if it's smooth, how hilly it is, if it's pet friendly, all this stuff.
If they're bears.
Yep, that
bears,
too, probably
skunks.
But I use it all the time, and you can rate it on how easy, medium, or hard it is. So I would suggest that you and Mary get that if you guys want to get out, so you can see the area, because there's a lot of hidden gems, really good hidden gems. Once you get done with a trail, and if let's say you take photos, you can upload those photos, and you can do like you can name your hike, afternoon hike, so and so.
Interesting
photos. Yeah, you can rate it out of 5 stars. People can like respond to it. It's like this whole thing, and I use it all
it's
the
social
time.
media for hikers.
Yeah, seriously. Like I did the Oaks Quarry. I went to Charleston Falls, which is one of my favorites.
Where's in
Tip City?
Tips. Okay,
I love
okay.
Charleston
all right.
Falls. It's very easy. So I think.
See, I just don't want a lot of hills. At least not at the beginning.
It's very easy. There is literally no hills.
I'm afraid that I will, and I'm not joking when I say this. It sounds like I'm trying to make a joke, but I don't want to fall down.
No, you
and get and because I'm a big guy, and anybody who's big knows that sometimes trying to traverse through rugged terrain when you're a big person can be a bit of a challenge because of the balance issues, and I just don't want to. I don't want to be on the news that local personality has to be airlifted out of the Arrows, park because of he took a bad step.
Yeah,
that would be embarrassing.
Yeah, Charleston Falls is super smooth. The only area that's a little bit rugged is the staircase that leads down to the actual falls, where you can be like ground level with it as it's
interesting.
falling. And then it gets rocky when you're coming back up, so that's a little complicated as well. But yeah, All Trails is a super great app.
I'll check it out.
Not a sponsor.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You can talk about that on the show. I use
it all the time.
I'll have to check it out because my wife and I have talked about this in the past about trying to do something like this, and the most I was willing to do on a Saturday or Sunday. My doctor, I went to my doctor yesterday, and he said, are you getting any exercise? And this is kind of what put it into my head. The fact that she had a nice time hiking, and then I went to my doctor yesterday, and he said, do you get any exercise? I said, well, not really. I'm just really busy with my job. And I said, though, on the weekends, we do a lot of thrifting. So I said, that's kind of like hiking. And he just kind of looked at me and was like, yeah, it's not really, but I do know that I need to do something more and try to live longer, and try to get some exercise, because surprisingly I'm in pretty good health. I mean, my blood pressure was great and everything was wonderful. My blood work is, so other than, being tubby, I'm not in bad shape health-wise. So I'd like to try to improve that. We had a great suggestion from Bob last segment. He mentioned Cox Arboretum, and I asked him about the butterfly house, because they used to have a butterfly house there where you walk in and you're just attacked by butterflies. And a lot of people love it. I remember going there with my son, and he absolutely hated it. But Marcia on the live stream said that they dismantled the butterfly house. And I wonder why, if it was because a shortage of butterflies or too many crying kids. Just a thought.
Yeah.
I don't know.
One more thing before I get out of here.
Oh,
I went to
sure.
Cox Arboretum one time
Mhm.
and I did a hike.
Yeah.
And that same weekend, I went on a Saturday, and the Sunday of that same weekend, there's news reports of they found a body in the woods the day after they went. And it took me by surprise.
Well, there's a rousing endorsement for Cox Arboretum. Way to go. Way to let's or more like, thank you, Ian, for that uplifting report. I heard this last week on Miami Valley's Morning News with Larry Hanskin, and I forget what day it was, but this is a great list. This is a article from Your Tango, I guess, yourtango.com, maybe. It says the top 10 blatant lies parents tell their kids. Now, some of these I've heard of. I remember being told these lies by my parents, and I remember telling my son some of these lies. Because sometimes it's just easier to lie to your kid than try to explain everything, because sometimes they just have so many questions and you just want them to shut up, so you just tell them, just listen to me. Drinking coffee stunts your growth. So you don't want to be drinking coffee. That's number one on the list. And I kind of remember that. I remember being told that coffee was an adult beverage. It was not a child's beverage. But now, it's changed so much. I mean, kids of all ages are drinking Starbucks or Dunkin', especially with iced coffee. I don't know many kids who are into hot coffee, but I certainly know quite a few who love the iced coffee, especially if you're putting a lot of, whipped cream and sugar and flavoring, because really it's just like a coffee dessert. I mean, that's what it's become. Number two on this list, I remember hearing this many times. If you pee in the pool, the water changes colors. And they know. They will be able to track you down. They'll know if you're the one who relieved yourself in the deep end, because there'll be a stream of, water changing different colors that will be like, yeah, it was that guy. It was that guy. Number three on the list, chocolate milk comes from brown cows. Yeah, I told Alex that. I told my son that. Number four, a watermelon will grow in your stomach if you swallow the seeds. I've heard that before. Now, this one I remember hearing quite a bit, and I want to say that I may have even heard this from a physician. I don't know, but I remember hearing some sort of authority tell me that if you swallow gum, it takes 7 years to digest. And I recall for a short time, I felt like I was really in trouble because I had probably 1.5 pounds of Bazooka Joe stuck in my system. Number six on the list, it's illegal to drive with the lights on inside the car. I have heard this from other people a number of times, and I don't understand that. Like, why is that a lie? Or, I mean, let me back up. I know why it's a lie. It's a lie. But what's the issue with that? Why tell your kids it's illegal to drive with lights on inside the car? Is it that the kids are asking, hey, can you please turn on the lights inside the car? Are kids asking that? And parents are saying, oh, no, it's illegal. I don't understand why that would even be a subject. Why would that even come up? Number seven, I heard this one a lot. Sitting too close to the TV will ruin your vision. I heard that a lot. The other thing I got, and this isn't on the list, I always play everything I listen to is too loud. And some of it now, as an adult, has to do with the fact that I work in radio and I wear headphones all the time. And I've been doing it for 30 plus years, and everything is loud. So I know that I've lost some hearing because of that. But when I was little, I had to have tubes put in my ears. So, at one point they lanced them. They had to drain them because fluid got in them. And there was scar tissue left. And I'm sure that had something to do with my hearing loss. So I always had the TV up loud, and I was sitting right in front of the TV. I would get turn it down and get away from the TV. That was what I would get. Number 8, cracking your knuckles gives you arthritis. I've heard that before. This one I saw was just recently disproven. That you have to wait 30 minutes after eating to swim. Otherwise, you could get cramps. And when you're out in the water, you get cramps. You could end up drowning because you can't swim. Apparently, that's all just a big old fat lie. And the last one on the list, I don't ever remember my parents telling me this, but I can imagine that there are parents that probably tell their kids this now more than ever. You won't find a job if you have a tattoo. I tell you what, I would say more than half of the young people, and I sound like an old guy, the young people, and I would say younger than 30, 35, definitely 30. I would say more than half of the young people I see that I would, I'm just assuming that they're in that age group, just by the way, they look, their age, how they look. They all have tattoos. They all have tattoos, and they have many tattoos. Now, I've got tats, and they're covered up by my shirt. I've got one on each arm. One is the show logo, which is a long story. I had a listener, Edgehead Tina, did it a couple of years ago. She got my show logo put on her body. And I said, well, if a listener's going to do it, then I need to do it. I can't not be you know what I mean? I just felt like I had to do that. And then another one I've got on my arm is a record spindle from, many, many years ago. But they've got tats all over the place. I mean, their legs, their calves, their feet, their necks. And you know what? Sometimes it's not bad looking. It's not bad at all. Taylor Robertson, who's on News Center 7, she's got tats. I always say, though, it's just not the best of ideas to get a tattoo on your face. That could probably keep you from getting a job. But anywhere else, I think that rule has changed. That's just my take.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Oh, wow, Heather, that is wow. That is hardcore. Oh my gosh, that is hardcore. Man. Heather, do you care if I share that?
Chicago's former First Family returns to speak to the DNC. More at 7. Now back to the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst on 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
From a psychological standpoint, the radio station represents a link to normalcy.
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Well, that's the show. Wrapping it up for a Tuesday night. We were just talking about lies that parents tell their kids. Heather on the live stream, she shared something that, wow, this is kind of hardcore. So in an effort by her mother to keep her kids close to her when they were out, shopping, so the kids wouldn't wander off, Mom, who unfortunately, prior to having Heather and her sister, had a couple of miscarriages. And the mother told Heather and her sister that she had lost the 2 other children at the grocery store to scare them into staying close to her so they wouldn't wander off. And for a long time, they thought that they had 2 siblings somewhere lost at a grocery store. That is brutal. Have a good night. We'll talk to you tomorrow just after 5.
And that's how she wrote.
I got nothing left.
Why don't you just call it a night?
I'm saying it's over, superstar.
That's it, guys. We're all fried.
You guys have a good night.
Unplug everything, wrap it up. Let's go home.
Adios, amigo.
From
Have a good night, everybody. Take care.